Welcome to WKRP Montrose, a radio station masquerading as a podcast about Montrose, Colorado, and the Western Slope.
All right, everybody. I already screwed this up. Oh my God. Good morning, Vietnam.
It's not the morning.
It isn't. It may not be the morning, but
that's not the worst part of what you said.
What's the worst part of what I said?
Well, it's not Vietnam either. And
do you know why? Hold on. No, you don't get to do that.
I'm not going to know that movie. Of course, I know the movie.
Do you know why I said it today, though?
Because Robin Williams' birthday. Is it?
It was recently. Recently, it wasn't today.
So why would you say it today?
Because time is a construct, and we've said in this thing, and so that they don't know what day it is.
I promise this is not scripted. He does stupid stuff like this, and I have to call him out on it.
Happy belated birthday, Robin Williams. You're one of my favorites. I just thought I've been waiting to do that.
He was one of your favorites.
He can still be one of my favorites.
He gone.
Correct. Do you not still love people that aren't here anymore? Oh.
Carry on.
Careful how you answer that next question.
Boy, did you hear that silence?
It did get real dark.
It did
get
I'm sorry.
Oh, there's a guest here. I forgot. Of your...
So we did stick you in, and on the camera now I'm looking at it, and we stuck you in the corner. Yeah. I can fix that. I can fix that really quickly.
Fix that. It's really weird. Okay. It looks like he was supposed to be here with two other people and they abandoned him. Yeah.
No. Well, so
look, on the sofa today we got Ty Gallenbeck and all of his friends.
And I made the other two disappear.
Cha-ching.
I'm out.
He's done.
I'm done.
So first, I want to say, Ty, it's awesome to have you here, and thank you so much for letting me join your golf outing the other day.
Dude, we had a good time.
We did have a good time.
I mean, I got my money's worth.
And it was you're being mean to yourself right off the bat.
No, it was terrible. I will fully disclose that it was bad, and I'm okay with it. Golf is tough.
Well, so here's the thing. You could tell that it was an off day for you.
That's a very gentle way of saying you were terrible.
But you hit some really great shots, which is obvious that you're a great golfer.
Well, not great. So not yet. I'm no Jordan.
Well, how do we like that? Are we a little better? Is that too? So we get really close?
Yeah.
Like how intimate do we want to get?
No. I mean, at least like us. That's better.
Too far down.
Yeah.
It got a little weird.
Too far down. It did get a little weird. I'm sorry.
Just in case anybody out there thinks that, this is a professional production, right. We just want to reiterate every now and again that we definitely do not know what we're doing.
What do you mean? I totally know what I do. Look at what I just made happen.
That isn't.
That's the stuff we're supposed to have done before we start. But
in all fairness, we were having a discussion about your show.
And about this technology. I was geeking out about the technology.
We were having a good time. Where were you? What were you doing, Rob?
He was doing more important stuff, to be fair.
I was getting the delicious Pilsner from Pomona Brewing Company. Thanks, Kevin and Chelsea. Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin and Chelsea at Pomona Brewing.
It's very good, actually. Very nice for a hot summer day.
I heard you were non-victorious. Speaking of people not being up to their game, what happened at trivia night at Pomona last night?
Well, we lost by, I think, half a point. The team that won had two more people.
Did you get your contention of that score in the 4-second time period to get the medal back?
No.
You didn't. He doesn't even know what I'm talking about, does he? Do you know what I'm talking about? Tom?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I do.
What is it?
Wait.
Work on it.
I mean, it's Olympics.
Yeah.
It was. Who was it? It was the boxer.
The vowels are coming together. It was not a boxer. It was a gymnast.
Oh, yeah. It was the American girl.
Yeah. She's never getting that medal back.
No.
She's not. Why should she?
Well, they changed it and then changed it back.
Right.
Plus, the Olympics are finished, so who cares?
So did you ask them to change the score last night?
Well, why would I? We lost.
Oh, wow.
Fair and square.
Okay. So nobody cares about Rob anyways. Ty, I am so excited to have you on the show. This is not the first time that we've sat down at a podcast, though.
Correct.
The first time was on this obscure podcast that we won't mention the name, because that might be a trivia question to get you a prize here before the end of the show.
I'm gonna try really.
man.
I'm gonna try really hard to not screw that up for you.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna reference that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Maybe so.
I'll
It's
try
okay.
not to. I'll try not to.
It's okay if you do.
You know what? Let's mention it in like the after the 15-minute mark when everybody stops listening to this stuff.
Why do you do that? He there was somebody that came up to him today that was like basically going to compliment the fact that we were doing the podcast and they'd listen to it. And he goes, that stupid little podcast thing that we're doing. And I'm like, Ty, how often have you told people you should come see my stupid little magic trick thing that I've got going up at have you ever done that?
Well, I probably did it for like the first 4 years of my career, to be honest.
There you go.
Yeah, I do some card tricks.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
you're
self-deprecating. It's an honorable trait.
when have you ever been self-deprecating?
I tell people this is rubbish.
Because I'm on it, not because you're on it.
Well, that may be partly true.
So, Ty, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
We got so much to get to today, but I want to make sure that we talk about. I had the distinct pleasure in coming and seeing your act at the Telluride Peaks, right?
The Peaks Resort and Spa.
Peaks,
There it is.
Peaks Resort and Spa.
Good Lord. Come on, carry on.
Okay. One of the things that I thought that and I left you a review on Google. Hey, if you've seen Ty's show, make sure you leave a review afterwards. It's very important.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge.
And in fact, anytime that you're really impressed with somebody and these amazing things that they do, take a minute to let them know by either giving them a review or calling them, texting them, whatever, something that they can use.
Or if you see Dennis, shout across the street at him.
Please do.
And it doesn't even have to be a compliment, honestly.
I do enjoy it. I do enjoy being shouted at.
Yeah.
Cat calls, all of it.
So we don't have a Google review, right? We don't have physical.
One. You can call the number 970-316-3162.
And say whatever you like.
Please.
You can comment on
Especially
the
about Rob.
Dennis's head if you like. Yeah.
So one of the things that I was thinking about that I didn't put in my review, this is why I wanted to bring this up, is that not only do you do close magic, and I'll let you define that here in a minute, but your storytelling in your act was extremely connecting, intimate, if I can use that word, and emotional. I saw you tug on some emotional heartstrings in other people in the audience besides myself. So I think that that's something that's not as well known about your act, is that when you go there, there's a really great storytelling element to the magic as well. Is that fair enough to say?
That is one of the best compliments I could get at this stage. So people have seen the show. The big storytelling element started a little over a year ago. So we had this new show that we wrote and worked on for over 6 years called Magic Is. And it really was me leaving the show I'd been doing for 10 years that is more kind of boom, 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 ha, funny, trick, 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 into maybe sharing the story that I wanted to share a little bit more. So we did that show for 1 full year in Telluride. Then my assistant, who just resigned at the end of the winter season, who had been with me for 12 years, he resigned, and I had to basically rewrite a whole new show in about 2 months. And so that's the version that you got to see. But it is kind of a combination of the first 10 years and the last year's show we did. But it is definitely more focused on storytelling and actually trying to say something of value.
So I think that one of the things, and I won't give it away, but I will let you know, I immediately went home and told my daughter, or texted my daughter, because that's the only way she talks to me anymore these days. Texted her and I said, magic is, and I used what it is. And I wanted to see if it resonated with her as much as it resonated with Nicole and I. And I was proud to say and happy to say, she came back and she was like, wow, okay. Right. I get it, type of thing. And so that feels like it's going to be a theme that's reoccurring for us now. So I
love that.
Thank you for that. That was awesome.
Was it about the journal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can say that.
Well,
that's not going to ruin anything.
by the way, also got major brownie points because I bought one of the journal that you have for sale at the thing, and I gave it to my daughter with that note or with the text message. And so she's on a trip right now. I'm super excited to see if that comes back in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Cool. Well, that was my personal part. Rob, you're just sitting over there waiting for me to shut up.
This is the quietest I have ever heard Rob.
Yeah, as usual, I am waiting for you to shut up. No, I'm just kidding. That was it's not what our listeners expect from this. That was kind of normal and serious.
Well, I mean, can we not be serious every once in a while? I know you don't enjoy it.
But we'd have to have a couple of weeks off that. No, you've just done that bit.
Okay, that's true. So back to the nonsense is what you're saying. Do you have any nonsense that you should share with us?
I love magic, by the way.
Okay.
Except
you still haven't been to the show.
No, that's true. And I am lost with all this talk, so I guess I have to come up now. But especially close-up magic, I actually don't particularly care for like the big illusions, the David Copperfield stuff.
Right.
I'm much more impressed by close-up magic, card tricks, coin tricks, and stuff. But I had magic sets as a kid, and I think I've told you this before. I even bought it's called Bobo's Modern Coin Magic.
Yeah, we did have that conversation.
Yeah, I bought that book, and I can do
none of it.
The French drop pretty well, I think.
There you go.
How about this? You like that? Yeah. I know some stuff.
You don't know that. I guarantee
Tell it. The French drop is a real term.
It is a very real term.
Bam.
That is 100% one of the only coin trick I really do too. But,
really?
Yeah.
You should encourage him because the whole time he was being quiet over there, he was Googling that on his phone. It's not like he had that reference stuck away that you could make that connection with you. That was a total Google moment right there.
The worst part, I think, about being interested in magic and actually learning a couple of basic things like the double lift, right, is it destroys the illusion for you. So as a magician, do you enjoy watching other magicians because you know a lot of what's going on? And, is it difficult for you to enjoy watching others perform magic?
So for probably the first 4 or 5 years that I was learning and kind of getting into it, when I would go to a magic show, all I was doing is trying to figure it out.
Right.
You're watching for this. Now, I mean, I just got back from 5 days in Vegas. It's like one of the largest magician conferences in the world. Bunch of geeks get together for 5 days. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. But by this point, you watch it knowing how it's done,
right?
But appreciate the art and how it's being presented.
Yeah, right. So even if you know how a trick is done, that doesn't mean you can see it being done.
Oh,
right?
100%.
That's the skill.
You should not.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Do you so what was that Penn and Teller show? I forget what it was called.
Penn and Teller Fool Us.
Right.
Did you like it or was it like?
I love it. I've been like final 2 on getting on the show.
Oh, really?
And haven't made it. So
what I love about that is that Penn and Teller obviously are very, very well-known, experienced magicians, and they are fooled sometimes. So I guess that I suppose you can. There are still magicians out there. You can still see stuff occasionally and be like, "Yeah, I don't know how that's done," because you have to be innovative, right? There was that guy. Remember the masked magician who would give away give away the secret to a lot of tricks. And I read that one of the reasons, at least, that he did that was to move magic on, so that people couldn't keep doing the same old tricks over and over again. Did you ever see the masked magician?
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's like a show in the 90s.
And he had he wore like a mask.
Because he would be like targeted by the magician community for giving stuff away. It's like the big no-no, right?
Okay, but so here's for me something. I think one of the most important parts of magic for me is the reprise from reality. Like taking a break for a second and just going, I want to be surprised. I want to be befuddled by this situation. And
you
I want
often befuddled, though, aren't you, to be fair?
Sure.
To be fair.
What were we talking about again?
You being befuddled.
Did I use that word or did you use that word?
You used it.
I blacked out for a minute.
But I see what you're saying. That idea of you can see a coin disappear.
Yeah.
You know it's not physically possible. You know it's a trick. You just can't see it.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
That's incredible.
When I told you I was going to the show, you were like, so tell me if you think you figured out how.
I was specific. If you think you figured it out, because I promise you do not know how any of them were done. You might think you do. You don't.
So
it is likely, yes.
So what I'm trying to say is I hated that he asked me that question, that I started to think about it while I was there.
Right.
And then while I was at your show, and I want to ask you about this, I saw a guy, and it was particularly the guy that you did the first trick with.
Okay.
And it was almost like he had this look on his face, like that he couldn't wait
He's going to try.
He was going to out you on that trick, right? That's the look that he had on his face.
Right.
And I found myself almost distracted from the amazement of what that first trick was to like, we're trying to curse less on this show.
Yeah,
so.
I literally just stopped myself too.
Yeah. So F that guy, you know,
right.
I'm enjoying this. Take the frown off your face. This is amazing. Like try to enjoy yourself in this moment. Right. And I had Rob's voice in the back of my head, like try to figure out, you're going to figure out what he's doing. Do you like people that are more, is it more enjoyable for you, for those of us who are immersed in it? Or do you get some satisfaction out of the guy that's like trying to look at you and figure it out? And then when you have the trick done, he's like, oh shit, I have no idea how he did that.
The satisfaction has to be really sweet when you go, I know that guy is going to try and cause me trouble. And you get him anyway. You get him, and then he sits down, and in your head, you must be thinking, yeah, sit down, you son of a...
So...
You're not as vindictive as we are, are you?
No. Oh, I can be. But...
That's true. I have seen your golf shot.
Yes. Oof. Yeah. I didn't break any clubs.
I'm never getting invited back to golf.
Such a win that I didn't break any clubs. No. So there's this mentality, and when you talk about, stage magicians and some of this stuff, part of the put off, I think, of stage magicians is it's this level of like, look at me, I can do this, you can't stuff. And if you, which I try to, hopefully I pull it off, if you can take that mentality off and it's like, hey, let's go on this trip together,
right? And
let's experience wonder, which is not something you get to experience in a lot of other performance arts. If we can go on that trip together, then the guy who starts off looking at it going, hey, I want to figure this out, eventually switches that switch. Because you're not confrontational. You're not trying to say, hey, look, I know something you don't know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You're kind of saying like, hey, let's do this together. And that creates a very different reaction from people. Am I going to eliminate all of it? No. Part of what people want is to try to catch you or try to figure it out. And sometimes it's going to happen. But I also do try to, like, in my show, I very specifically try to stack stuff. Mm-hmm. And so if at some point you're like, oh, I think you did this, then I don't, even if it's right, I can just say, well, what about this?
Right.
And that eliminates this possibility in their mind.
Right.
And all of a sudden you're lost again.
Yeah.
So again, I'm trying to be real careful with my words here, because if you haven't gone to see Ty Gallenbeck's show in Telluride Peaks Resort.
The Peaks Resort and Spa.
Peaks Resort and Spa.
It's important.
Right. Are they a sponsor?
They are of him.
You know who is a sponsor, by the way, if you're going to make that trip up to Telluride, is Montrose Rent-A-Car.
Yep.
Get the car you rent with Montrose Rent-A-Car.
Yeah.
And they rent Subarus, which is an amazing Colorado vehicle.
It's the quintessential Colorado
Yes, it is. So now that we're back to, we got all those things out of the way. Gotcha, by the way. You didn't even see that coming. One of the coolest parts about the show too, again, from the storytelling, is I was in a room full of strangers, except for the people that I brought along with me. But by the time I left, I did feel like we were kind of a part of a group that had just experienced this thing with you. And it did, like, we went out and had drinks at the bar afterwards, and there was that kind of camaraderie between each other that we had just seen your show. And you make it you do very well at bringing people along with you in that journey of the experience of the magic that you do. So,
well, in the new show,
I'm done kissing your ass, by the way.
No, you can. I'll take it. Whatever. But the new show, I've told a ton of people this. So we went from a 60-seat room down to a 30-seat room, and you were talking about close-up magic and the differences and stuff. So we went from what is considered in my world a parlor show, standing in front of a group of 60 people, to a close-up show, legitimate close-up show, 60 people or 30 people seated at a table. And it's a totally different feel. And it is 100% an absolutely terrible business decision. Like, that is not smart. Like, do not cut your tickets in half. But it has been so much better for the magic and for the audience to walk away with that feeling.
So
which I love.
It's a quality over quantity thing, right? Dennis and I had this conversation earlier with somebody about that very thing. And if you're going to do something, do it right. Because you can shortchange other people and yourself. So yes, terrible business decision, but it sounds like all of the people who come have a better experience. And so, you hope that over the long term, that turns out to actually not be such a terrible business decision. So,
well, I'll help you out with the business decision. When you go to the show, pay the extra money to get the front row seat. It wasn't available when I went, and I can see why, because not that it wasn't a great experience from where I was sitting at, but it was even cooler, I think, for the people that were like, because you let them get like right here.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
So I gotta ask, okay, this is a loaded question, I suppose, for you, but are the bravest magicians the ones who do close-up magic?
I think it's the hardest.
Yeah.
For sure.
You have the smallest margin of error, right?
Absolutely.
A tiny mistake, if somebody is sat 2 feet from you. Yeah, like I said, that was an obvious loaded question. But it's terrifying to me, that idea.
So one of the moves that I do in my show is something that I worked on for years and years and years and was afraid to ever do it. I finally started doing it standing in front of people and could get away with it.
All right.
When I move someone, like he said, there is someone that sits, I could put my arm around them at the table. It is literally a fraction of an inch whether that move works or not. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So we always try to bring an element of Montrose and the region into the conversation. And recently, there was a conversation at one of the DART meetings, and I don't remember what the acronym stands for, but there was an organization of downtown retailers that were here at this meeting. And there was a conversation of doing a third Thursday type of thing or whatever. And they were talking about bringing buskers in to perform. And not that you would be a busker, but my first thought was, I want to ask Ty, what would be a good magic busker thing to do that when you have a very limited audience, you're in a specific spot, it's going to be out in public type of thing. Do you have any response to that? Like any ideas or thoughts of something that we should be looking for? Is there anybody we know?
How much time do you have?
Well, David Blaine, right, famously is, the street magician, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you're talking about, right? We talked about buskers, and you don't want to have an event where you just have 20 people with guitars. It's not street performers, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But why?
Nobody asked you, Rob. I asked Ty.
Would you do that? Would you do that? Would you be involved in something?
Well, so throwback story, when Montrose, this may precede either of you, when Montrose used to do Main in Motion,
I've been to
back
Main
in
in
the
Motion.
day,
Yeah.
I used to busk.
Really?
And do stuff here. That was, and my first ever live performance for strangers was at Pearl Street in Boulder. Either of you ever been to that?
Yes.
That's the design I would take also if I was going to try to do a busking event. Pearl Street in Boulder, I was sitting watching a very well-known magician who performs there, and he saw me with a deck of cards, and he's like, "Oh, are you a magician?" And I'm 6 months, 8 months into this journey. I'm like, no, just playing with cards. He's like, "No, you're a magician. I can tell." He's like, "Hey, everybody!" He just starts screaming, "This is David Blaine's brother!" Draws a crowd over. I was shaking like a leaf. It was the scariest thing I'd ever done. But it almost instantly
turned you into the confidence that you needed to be.
I don't know if I had it, but there was number one. Check, I've done it once.
Right.
Let's go from there. So
doesn't everybody need a good hype man?
They're great.
Yeah. If I have Rob,
well,
but he's not he's not. He calls it a stupid podcast, but
I'm more like that guy though, because a hype man is, hey, this guy's great. I'm the one. I would like to throw you into the deep end if I could.
I think you try to throw me into the deep end as often as you can.
I do try.
Yeah.
But there's a slight difference between a hype man and somebody who throws you in at the deep end.
Right. Yeah.
There's crossover, but still.
I think the audience is mature enough and educated enough to know what you mean by that.
Our audience?
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. I've had two friends in my life when I was starting who used to like parade me around at events, and one of them, who's one of my best buddies, used to parade me around the mall and just, hey, this is my friend, like check this out to all the girls, and then he would hit on the girls after I finished the tricks.
That's a wingman. That's not a hype man.
Yeah.
No,
there's crossover there too.
Or you were his wingman.
That was like forced wingman there. But
so, well, I want to talk about, since you mentioned it at golf the other day, some cool. Everybody is sending their kids back to school.
Yep.
But you just sent your wife back to school.
Correct.
For her what anniversary? Because I was like, this is pretty awesome.
It's crazy. Yeah. So she just started her 20th year of teaching this year.
That's amazing. Remind me her name.
At the same school, Megan.
Megan, you're amazing. You're awesome. 20 years. Thank you so much for everything you do.
16 years in second grade, and then this is her 4th year in 5th grade.
Fifth grade math, right? You said
5th grade math.
Holy cow!
Saint.
She is a saint.
Yeah.
We're lucky to have people that are
yes.
better than us, right? Okay.
I had to sub for like an 8-month period as I was like transitioning into full time, and I did one kindergarten class, and I'm like, I'm never doing this again. Like that was it.
Were you Arnold and Arnold from like kindergarten? Carl, like, shut up, sit down. No, he's shaking his head over there. You want to say something? Say it.
I don't know what to say.
I know. Thank you.
Keep talking.
He's so valuable sitting in that seat over there. If any of you, speaking of which, I don't know if we have it, but we are taking auditions for a weatherman or woman, and you call in.
They're
weather
people.
person.
They're weather people.
Well, there's not going to be multiple people giving the weather, are there?
Well, I don't know.
So it's person.
Have we set this up in advance?
I mean, obviously not. Nothing on this is scripted.
Okay, so quick question.
Yeah.
There is no date, time stamp. We just had this conversation.
Yeah.
And you're having a weather person.
Correct. Correct.
All right.
I mean, what are the chances? Here's the thing.
Yes, that's a terrible decision. But
No. Hold on.
I'm curious.
How often is the weather person correct?
Never.
And it's Colorado.
So
it's fine.
There's a very good chance whatever the weather person gives as a prognostication of weather may or may not be right during that time. So it feels like it fits.
Yeah.
Are you with me now on it, Ty?
I mean, I'll be curious to see how it goes.
I mean, we could have somebody here reading out horoscopes too, because that is a load of nonsense too.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, Rob said that he used to write horoscopes.
I used to edit them for a newspaper, and I edited them in a way that I thought was funny. So never take a horoscope seriously, because a sub-editor or a copy editor has messed around with them.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So this is random funny story, and I don't know if I want her to hear this or not. She will know I'm talking about her. I think it's okay. I had no clue, so I'm innocent in this, but it was one of the funniest things ever. So I did a show for Telluride Fringe Festival this year, which, if you don't know what a Fringe Festival is, they're incredible. I was so excited. This is the first year they've ever done it. It was like one of the first ones to apply. It was awesome. 30-minute set, little black box theater. My whole thing was predicting the future is not possible. No one can do it. Psychics are full of crap, blah, blah, blah. That was my whole premise of this show. And then proceeded to predict the future over and over and over again, while saying, yeah, it's all full of crap. And at the end of the show, we created a number that ended up being a psychic hotline that person, they would call this number, and then the psychic would tell them everything that just happened in the show. And it was cool. It was
really?
It was this awesome bit. And then at the end of the psychic call, the psychic would be like, hey, thanks for calling today. And remember, no one can predict the future. Click. And hang up on them. And I thought it was great. And then we get done with the last show, and one of the coordinators for the event comes up to me, and they're like, hey, do you know what I do for a living? I'm like, no, I thought you just put on this event. And she's like, No, I'm actually a psychic.
Well, you should have seen this coming then.
Yeah, I was like, apparently I shouldn't have been hired.
that was one of those missed moments.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Do you know, have you heard of there's a British magician, mentalist, right, called Darren Brown?
Absolutely incredible.
He's amazing. Yeah,
Yep.
he does. I mean, a lot of that kind of stuff. But he also shows you oftentimes how he does it.
well, isn't most of it like I'll sound I will sound uneducated in this moment, but is not part of that like you're manipulating the person into the answer that you ultimately want them to give.
Yeah. Well, he would,
which makes you look like you predicted it, but
well, I mean, he would, for example, he would find out like a particular person. Let's say they're going to Ty's show, and he would know that they are going to drive on that route, and he would strategically place things on the road. They would be signed, and so you pick up on all of this stuff subliminally, and it's in there.
Yeah,
and then
he draws it back out.
Yeah, tell me a random thing or draw this thing, and he knows that there's a good chance you're going to draw because you've seen it 10 times on the way to the show.
Do you ever use magic on your children or your wife, or does that like?
No.
My
wife hates it. So she's a terrible audience.
I did have a moment when I saw your show that I was like, I feel like if I could get away with it, I would. Like there would be some situation. I'm not sure what it is right now, but I'm being honest. I had that thought. I was like,
how can I use this in an evil?
Yeah.
Well,
no, not evil. I don't.
This way. How can I trick my wife?
No.
Okay, those are two different questions. Though. Using it for evil, yes, done. Wife and kids,
Well, I'm like for example, like this is going to be a really poor example, but if my wife was like, "Hey, did you take out the trash?"
Right.
And I'd be like, "Yeah, I did."
No, but what I was thinking the same thing.
But I didn't.
I was thinking trash too, but I was thinking. Maybe, if
that's not evil.
No, if you had maybe your wife, sarcastically would say, "Hey, Ty, can you make the trash disappear?"
Yeah, right.
Because he didn't take the trash.
But then if he was like, "What done?" and then she walked over there and it was like, "See, that seems like you set it up, it's coming, right?" And then you wait for that moment, right?
Yeah, but he does this, this is his profession.
Right.
To go home and be like, right, now I have to come up with tricks that only my wife is going to see. That's a lot of work.
I don't know. Sometimes things are worth the effort. How long have you been married?
Almost 20 years.
Okay, so I've been married 24 years. It's definitely at the point now in our relationship where...
You would invest time.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk offline.
Okay.
I'll give you some ideas.
All right. There we go.
But you would invest time.
My man.
You would invest time just for your wife to roll her eyes and go, "Oh my God."
That works too.
How long did that take you, you idiot?
That works too. That's some show of emotion and appreciation of what's going on there.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. For me,
20 plus years, an eye roll, you go, "Oh, we're still in love."
Yeah, exactly. She's still got it for me.
Still got it, baby.
That's exactly it. 100%. Nicole, I'm looking forward to the eye roll tonight.
As she's watching this, she's rolling her eyes right now.
This is the point where she just turned. Nope.
She just turned it off. Yeah, she did.
Done.
She did. All right. You brought a event for us today.
Events. I was going to say an experiment.
We said hype, right? I was hyping you up.
Okay.
I couldn't do David Blaine. I wish I could come up with that fast off the top of my head. But I can't wait to watch Rob's mind get blown here in this moment. So do you want to try it now?
Let's try it.
Okay.
I think that's good. All right. So this is the part where I'm not going to spoil. Let me pull this up. Because I'm pretty sure you guys introduced me to this on that
other podcast that shall not be named.
That I'm not going to talk about. That's exactly right.
I don't know why we're not doing that, by the way. No,
because it's going to be the
why we don't do the podcast.
No, why we don't name it? Because
then they have to go discover it.
They won't.
They will.
They will not bother.
They're motivated.
I promise you, they won't.
Jenny Summerall, who just won a T-shirt. Elise,
we have a copy.
Elise, we won't give Elise's last name because I can't pronounce it. But
true.
Elise and Nick, they just won a gift.
We have a copy of Nick's book to give away.
We do have a copy of Nick's book to give away.
I need to buy that book still. I love that.
We have a signed copy right there.
I'll get a signed copy.
So
from it. Yeah,
you're like I know the guy. I can handle it.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that episode too. It was fun to listen to. All right. So I believe this is a website that I got introduced to by you guys, but we'll go from there.
All right.
So this one is Google Stats, which is not what we're looking for. And because the Olympics just happened, we're going to try something with the countries on this. So this obviously cycles based on trends and what's going on. So it's been fun in the last, month or so with all the Olympics, how much stuff has changed on a day-to-day basis. And I don't want any bias. I know you have some bias towards certain countries and against other countries.
Yeah.
Me?
For a variety of reasons, founded or unfounded. So how we're going to do this, it lists the top 100. I need you to pick a number between 1 and 100 to start on this.
46.
Not you.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
It's not all about you, Dennis.
I'm sorry.
What did you say?
46.
47.
47. Okay. Here we go. Let's actually... I should just...
Did I just ruin it?
No, not at all. Okay. I'm just... Because I don't have the camera, right?
Do you want the camera?
This camera...
I can give it to you.
No, I think we can do... I'll just have Rob take this, actually. Yeah, that'll work. Because I don't want to look to show. Just hand this to Rob.
Okay.
And scroll down to 47. This part doesn't matter that much. And don't
screw it up, Rob.
Say what the country is.
Okay. Got it.
You can show it to the camera if you want to. That may be more interesting for people following along at home.
Right. They can't really see that, I don't think. But
okay. Dennis can see it.
Yeah, let me see it. 40. Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what else I brought is a torn up map.
Ooh.
Okay. So all the different pieces of a map. Different countries, I know there was one where it's like just Florida got torn off, but Florida's basically its own country anyway. So we can go with that, but you get the idea and it doesn't matter. 52 card pickup.
Yeah. There we go.
So here's what I need you to do, Rob.
Okay.
I'm going to hand these. Can you get to these?
Yeah.
Take those over with you. And I want you, leave them face down because I don't want you to see them, but hold on to them. You're going to do this all in your hands. Take them in your hands. There we go. So I want you to start and just face down, count them one at a time down onto the table and stop whenever you want.
Okay.
Wait. Hold on. I got something here.
Okay.
There we go. Hold on. We're going to. All right. So you're counting them. 1,
And
7.
you can stop whenever you want.
13, 22.
Okay.
Okay. So take the ones in your left hand and just get rid of them.
Okay.
We don't need those anymore.
Okay.
All right. Pick up all the ones you have. Do you remember how many you counted?
13.
13. Okay. So count off 6 and leave 7. That's as close to half as we can get. Okay. Dennis, pick a hand. The pile on the table or right or left hand? Let's do that.
Left hand.
Perfect.
My left.
Yep.
Yeah.
So keep those in your left hand. Get rid of the ones in your right hand. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So now what you're going to do, you know that game that like as a kid, people would play with like a flower, like he loves me not, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Rob played that game a lot.
We're going to kind of do that same thing, but you're going to say, I want to travel here. And then I don't want to travel here.
Okay.
So the first one, I want to travel here, put it on the bottom. I don't want to travel here, throw it away.
Okay.
I want to travel here.
I want to.
I don't.
I don't.
I want to.
I want to.
I don't. I want to. I don't. I want to. I don't. I want to. I don't. Are you left with one?
One left.
Okay. You could have picked any number.
I could
He
have.
picked 46. You chose 47. If you looked at that list, they were in different places. What was the country you looked at?
Australia.
You shuffled these.
I did.
You counted them.
I did.
You moved them.
I did.
Take a look at the piece of paper in your hand.
Fucking hell.
Show it. No, throw it over here. Over here.
That's ridiculous.
Get out of here. Get the out of here. That's the kind of shit. Like, okay, damn it, I cursed.
I was like, cussing has gone out the window at this point, but that's fair.
That's ridiculous.
Is that not awesome?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible.
Okay.
Are we back on here?
Yeah, there we go.
There it is.
Absolutely ridiculous. Can I keep this?
Yeah.
I am. You got to get him to sign it.
Little memento.
Oh no, yeah. Will you sign it?
Yeah.
And then that'll be part of the gift that we give away.
I'm keeping it.
No,
They can have any of the others. He can sign any of the others.
All right, fine. We'll give him a non-winning country.
I'll get you one of the journals to make as part of the gift.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Is it so timely that it's
Ridiculous.
also, since there's this other podcast that we keep mentioning, this would have totally come up because we would have talked about the breakdancer from Australia.
Oh my gosh, yes. Of course.
That would have been, I don't think he did that I think he did that on purpose. You and I both just got manipulated. He always knew it was going to be Australia. It didn't matter. I don't know how he did it.
I don't know. I love magic, and I am lost for words.
So
It's
here's
incredible.
Here's the thing. You always tease me about the little hamster on the wheel. It's up here in the brain. It just passed out and fell off the wheel, basically, is what happened.
I'm out. Yeah.
Okay, listen.
Amazing,
If that didn't convince you that you need to take the perfect date night, by the way, take somebody that you love, take somebody that you don't love. I don't know, whatever you want to do.
You want to love.
Yes, that you want to love. That's even
take
better.
Your Tinder date.
There you go. I don't know anything about that. Go to the Peaks. What is it called?
The Peaks Resort and Spa.
There you go. And go see Ty Gallenbeck's show.
Can I just also,
Yeah.
just, for everyone out there.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to show them the other pieces?
They weren't all Australian.
Yeah. That's a good point.
That's the point, is that it could have been anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what made that trick even better?
Ludicrous.
Is that he did drop cards on the floor. Any one of those could have been Australia. Because we'd already handed you the phone.
How many maps do you rip up on a yearly
This is going to be the
basis?
most watched episode because people are going to try to go back and figure it
I
out.
hope they go back and watch. Yeah, that's great. I love the camera work. Mindblowntellyourride.com.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to keep saying.
Yes.
Crazy.
Say it 2 more times.
Yep. Mindblowntellyourride.com. Mindblowntellyourride.com.
Mind blown. Get your mind blown. Tellyourride.com.
Yeah.
Mind blown. Mind blown. Tellyouride.
Genuine mind blowing.
.com.
It's
What?
the elements of the choose a number,
Yeah.
ripped up map. It's great.
Nailed it.
Amazing. The whole
Nailed
thing's
it.
fantastic. Effortless too.
This was a piece that was done that I designed for the Fringe Festival. So it's not something I do often, but I love it. I think it's fun.
So I do this to Rob all the time. I want to add another new element to our show, and I'm going to let you be the first person to do it.
Great.
You're going to be the first person to know about it.
Yeah,
too.
right. So
I almost said this earlier. Sorry. I almost said this earlier. I'm so used to everything in my life when I'm in front of people being scripted down to the word that this stresses me out on so many different levels. Like there was no hey, we're going to ask you this and we're going to go through. No, it was hey, we're turning everything on. Let's go. And I'm like, all right.
Do you mean like other professional shows? Like you've been on news program, morning shows, you've done all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And they tell you what's going to happen and that you get a better idea of it.
Well, or at least they're like, hey, like news stuff. They're like, you have 4 minutes. And I'm like, I know every word I'm going to say in those 4 minutes.
So here's the thing, is that you can decide, the listeners can decide, if it's this crazy format is something that we concocted or we're just kind of lazy. And we just turn this stuff on and go, we'll see what happens.
You got to admit, though, you've had a good time.
I love it. Well, so one of my favorite podcasts of all time is called The Podcast. It's a bourbon podcast. It's what really sent me. That's a whole nother conversation, maybe. But down the bourbon train. But it's 2 dudes that get together and it's pretty unscripted. And so I love it. I do love the format. It's just not.
It's not conducive to you.
Yeah.
Well, you in your line of work, you can't wing it.
No.
You have it's the exact opposite end of the spectrum. You have to have every movement, word, gesture has to be exactly how you want it, or these tricks don't work.
Yeah. And even the moments that look improvised are fully scripted.
Well, what's the old joke about? All right.
Oh,
but
that was awesome.
It takes.
I don't have a Robism to throw back at Rob when he just screwed up.
It's like it's how long it takes to make something look effortless. No.
Hold on.
Moving on swiftly. That's your thing.
But I feel like you just earned it.
That's your thing.
You just earned it. Yeah. Hey guys, Ty Gallenbeck, mindblowntellyouride.com. Make sure that you go and see the act. The thing that I wanted to throw out, your new concept.
Sorry, I derailed you.
No, it's fine. Do you remember like all the social media like challenges, like the ice bucket challenge and everything, and then you would challenge somebody else?
Yeah.
who do you want to challenge to come on to WKRP? Since you just said it was so stressful.
Who do you want to subject
Yeah,
to this
yeah.
nonsense?
So I live in Delta, so I'm
Yeah.
a little biased. Like
That's
I've got
fine.
some favorites there. Have you had Cassie from Cassie B's at the Grove on here?
We have
She
not.
also owns the Doghouse
Okay.
coffee shop.
Oh,
Doghouse Espresso.
right. I
so
know
Cassie.
Doghouse.
So
Yeah.
your camera.
Yeah, you look
Look
right
Look
at
in the
it.
camera.
Cassie B, you need to come on this show.
Yeah.
You'd be excellent. Yep. She is,
All right. Well,
amazing business owner, woman boss. Everything about her is incredible. She's one of my favorite and most interesting people in Delta. You should definitely talk to her. She has cool tattoo stories.
Ooh.
It's
Well,
awesome.
I like it.
so they used to stock Wayfinder magazine when I made that at the Doghouse.
Did he just find a way to
Talk about myself.
Yeah. And
Threw it in.
We'll tag them for sure on social media, and
Yeah.
that's a really good idea.
hey, thanks.
Well, and the reason being is it makes
That's on camera. I got that recorded.
Yeah, no. But the reason is
like-
because we're putting the responsibility of finding guests on the guests, which I love.
Oh, that's why it was a good idea.
Yeah.
Because it didn't involve me.
Yeah, the less work I have to do for this thing, the better.
I was so close.
I mean, offline, I'll give you like 15 more too.
Yeah.
I've been here long enough. I know some people.
Well, so also, I want to, since Rob is doing self promotion, I would like to get invited to some said private whiskey tasting
Oh, whiskey tasting we could do.
scenario. So maybe that could be a prize that we have that we could organize and pay for. Would be because I think we both know. A matter of fact, a past guest that produces some really great whiskey.
Incredible whiskey.
Ooh, a blind tasting. Ooh, could we test your knowledge?
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Actually, I want to go up against him.
what's the
Right,
ooh?
yeah.
There we go.
Can we do that in
Fishering,
Yeah.
you're being called out publicly.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
What's the card game where you
Beer? 3-card money.
yes?
Yeah.
Could we 3-card money whiskey tasting
Dude,
contest?
let's do it.
Ooh,
David,
dude, I'm on fire today.
David, me and you on this couch. I want 4 samples. You bring 2, I'll bring 2. We'll blind taste them and see. Yeah.
I like it.
And I'll sit here and heckle.
I like it. I like it a
No,
lot.
you'll get all 4
I'll
samples
just
too.
drink
You
them
can
too,
just
yeah.
drink them. Yeah.
Okay, this is
Done.
Dude, that'd be
Sounds
fun.
good.
I just dropped off a blind tasting for David today.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we need to make that
Lots of
happen.
stuff coming up. Do not forget. Call in 970-316-3162. Leave us a message about a whiskey that you think maybe should be in that blind tasting if you've got something unique to share. Don't forget, you can go to WKRPmontrose.com. You can see past episodes. You can sign up for some of these giveaways that we're talking about, or check us out on Facebook at Montrose Message Board. That's where we publish the new episodes every Monday. Is there anything else I forgot?
Hey, are you doing this quiz question that I
Yeah,
avoided on purpose?
How are we giving Nick's book away?
Yeah. Okay, so Rob and I and Ty have been seen and heard, only heard on another podcast. Can you figure out what that podcast is?
And if you see me around town, ask me, and I will just tell you the answer.
And tell you the current podcast.
Because Rob
is
likes to
rubbish.
ruin all the fun. So yeah, if you see Rob, grab him, pinch
There's
him, slap
literally
him.
a few episodes of this thing we did, but it's quite fun.
Do you know what?
We're going to bring it back, I think.
Do you know what my favorite story that your friends have came up with recently?
Well,
So, and I'm going to get her name wrong.
when do you get names right?
I know it's a problem. I might. You know what? When I'm diagnosed with dementia,
Yeah.
you're going to feel really bad about these, in 10, 20 years.
Nah, I'll be fine.
That's true. You probably will make.
He doesn't hate people that have been gone.
Right, yeah.
Or he doesn't
He
love,
love people that are
He doesn't
gone.
love people.
Oh.
He does hate them.
That's
He
true.
doesn't love
But one of his friends came up to me and goes, "Oh, you're Dennis," and I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "I was really convinced that you were imaginary." That he just would call me and tell me, "Oh, by the way, I've got to go do this thing with Dennis," or I told Dennis I would meet him here, or I'm going to be
Honestly,
here, and I've never seen you before, so I just figured you were
It
imaginary.
is a genius idea.
Yeah.
And I maybe should create a fake person
An
that I
imaginary
can use
friend?
to just get out of all the stuff I don't want to do.
They don't know I'm not real. This
Yeah.
could be AI.
That's no AI.
That'd be a lot of waste of time. AI would do it better.
It wouldn't create you. Hell, I can too.
All right, guys. This has been another episode of WKRP. Ty, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it. Rob, I'll just mute you. Nobody cares.
No.
Crazy.
That was awesome.
Crazy. Mindblowntelluride.com.
Mindblowntelluride.com.
Really amazing.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
All right. You guys. Talk to you soon.